Good day everyone, my name is Junel Hernandez Lanuzo from BSED32E together with my groupmates Miss Kyla Adanya and Miss Ernestine Lopez. So we're going to discuss the characteristics of different literary timeline here in the Philippines. Oral literature is stories were passed down by word of mouth through chants, songs, and storytelling because there was no widely used writing system. While anonymous and communals, its authors were unknown, and the stories belonged to the whole community, not just one person. Rich and folk forms included myths, legends, epic, folktales, riddles or bugtong in Tagalog, and proverbs or salabikain in Tagalog. Religious and nature-based themes is more focused on beliefs about spirits, gods, and respect for nature, while reflect culture and values showed early Filipinos' traditions, bravery, wisdom, and daily life.
So let's proceed to Spanish occupation. The Spanish occupation of the Philippines lasted for more than 300 years, from 1565 to 1898. It began earlier in 1521 when Ferdinand Magellan arrived at Spain and introduced Christianity, but he was killed by Lapu-Lapu in the Battle of Mactan. Permanent Spanish rule started when Miguel Lopez de Legazpi established a settlement in Cebu. Spain made Manila the capital, spread Catholicism, and built schools. However, Filipinos suffered abuse and inequality. Nationalism grew through heroes like Jose Rizal, leading to the end of Spanish rule. Let's proceed to American occupation. The American occupation of the Philippines began in 1898 after the Spanish-American War, when Spain ceded the islands to the United States through the Treaty of Paris. Although Filipinos had already declared independence, fighting broke out in the Philippine-American War. Under American rule, a civil government was established, led by William Howard Taft. Public education expanded through the Thomasites with English and as a medium of instruction. In 1935, the Commonwealth of the Philippines was formed, leading to independence on July 4, 1946.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyla Adanya from BSED32E. So let's start with Japanese occupation. First bullet of this one is suppression of English, promotion of Filipino and Japanese. So during this occupation by the Emperor of Japan, English was banned and it was associated with American influence, Filipino or Tagalog. Japanese were promoted, leading to increased writing and national language. So next bullet rises to Tagalog literature with English restricted. Writers shifted to Tagalog. This period saw a growth in poetry, short stories, and essay written in Filipino, making a literature more accessible to a masses. Next is haiku and short forms influenced by the Japanese culture. The Japanese introduced the haiku and other short poetic forms. Filipino writers adopted these concise styles to impress emotions and national ideas of each and everyone. And next is themes of nationalism and survivals. Many works reflected to the hardship of war, poverty, hunger, and the desires for freedom. Literature became quiet form of resistance and emotional expression. And last but not least, for Japanese occupation is underground and guerrilla publications, which is anti-Japanese writing circulated secretly, showing resistance against occupation and maintaining Filipino patriotism. So next, or last but not the least, a modern society part. So first bullet to the modern society part is post-war reconstruction literature, which is after independence in 1946, writer focused on rebuilding the nation's war trauma and redefining the Filipino identity. Next is rise of social realism, which is literature portrayed social injustice, poverty, and political corruption, especially during the regime of Ferdinand Marcos. So next is the martial law literature, which is during martial law under the Marcos legacy. Many writers produced protest literature exposing human rights abuses and government oppression. Some works were censored, others are circulated underground. So next is People Power and Revolutionary Themes, which is in 1986. People Power Revolution inspired the literature centered on democracy, freedom, and national recovery. Next is a contemporary of global Filipino literature, which is modern writers explore this diaspora identity by the gender, technology, and globalization, wherein Filipino authors now gain international recognitions and literature appears in English, Filipino, and regional languages. So for my part, this is the last but not the least. So the digital and multimedia literature, which is in 21st century, wherein blogs, online publications, spoken word poetry, and social media platforms has expanded in literary expression, making literature more interactive, widely, and accessible. So for my part, thank you everyone for listening for our literary timeline of the Philippines. Again, thank you everyone. Have a great day.